Hello fellow e-bikers and welcome to the channel, where today we're going to take a closer look at my first 3 months of living with this beautiful bike behind me, the Orbea Wild FS. So, as much as I would love to tell you that it has all gone absolutely swimmingly over the past 3 months and it has been one massive long love affair, that is unfortunately not the case. So let's start out by taking a look at the things that have not gone quite so well. So the first thing I'd like to talk about is the paintwork. Now, Orbea have the fantastic My program, which allows you to select from thousands of different color combinations. However, on my carbon frame, the paintwork does seem to be quite fragile. When I first took delivery of the bike, the air can on the shock was twisted around this way, which meant that the valve was just over the frame here. The valve cap here hit the frame and damaged the paintwork. It meant that I got to check out how good the warranty and service is from Orbea. My bike shop phoned them up, explained the situation, and within a matter of minutes, I had the promise of a brand new frame at the end of this riding season. So I would strongly recommend looking at some frame protection if you're going to buy this bike. I don't know if it's the same situation with the aluminium frame, because I've got the carbon frame, but what I do know is when my new frame arrives, I will definitely be fitting something like InvisiFrame or Ride Wrap. In fact, if anybody has any experience of either of these products, I would love to hear about it in the comments, because that could help me make my decision about which system I will buy. Second issue that I had is absolutely nothing to do with the quality of the bike. It is just one of those things. I was out riding on a pretty rocky trail. Like everywhere in Ticino, there's plenty of rocks. Just watch out a bit because many of them are loose. And unfortunately, I got a rock in the rear wheel and it broke one of my spokes. Third issue, however, is slightly concerning. I was out on a ride with my buddy Alberto and I took a small tumble. As you can see on the bike, there's these stops here to stop your handlebars turning all the way around and causing the fork to scrape the frame and damage it. On top of that, this Acros headset here has stops in it that also prevent the handlebars turning beyond this point here. When I took this little tumble, this didn't seem to work. What actually happened was that the cups of the headset turned in the frame, and as a result, it hit the stops. If you can see, there's some damage on the stop here, went all the way through and scraped the paintwork on the frame as well. The fourth and last issue that I've experienced is actually, again, nothing to do with the bike. I managed to get simultaneous front and rear pinch flats. I don't think I was running particularly low pressures, but because of that, I've decided to fit Vittoria Airlines to the bike. So what have I changed about the bike? Well, actually, I haven't changed a great deal. I wasn't such a fan of the race face grips that were fitted to the bike when I got it. So what I did was I added these orange ergon grips instead. I've made a few little cosmetic changes. If you want to see those changes I've made, check up at the top of the screen here and I'll put a link to that video. So what do I like particularly about this bike? Well, the first thing that springs to mind is without a doubt the Bosch Performance Line CX motor. This motor is absolutely brilliant. I love the emtb mode. In fact, most of the time when I'm out riding, if I'm not too worried about saving battery, I just put it in emtb mode, and that ensures that I don't use anywhere near as much battery as if I left it in boost all of the time. It has great ride characteristics. It's got me up so many climbs that I was never able to do on my old e-bike. So all in all, I think that is definitely one of the very good things about this bike. And I think if you've got this motor on any other e-bike, then you will definitely be very pleased. Some people complain about the clunking noise. Mine does have that clunking noise a little bit. But to be honest with you, my main concern is reliability. They seem to be very reliable, and I'm really not that worried about that clunking noise. Something else that I really love is the kiosk display that I've got on my bike. I think it's fantastic the way it gives you so much information about your ride, and something I'm particularly interested in taking a closer look at is the navigation option that allows you to pair it with your mobile phone and actually see your navigation route on the display. So hopefully once I've got that set up, then I'll create a video to take a much closer look at that option. The new 4-pot Shimano XT brakes are also an excellent addition to this bike. I'm a big fan of Shimano brakes anyway. I love that really strong bite that they have. And these 4-pot versions provide excellent stopping power, something which is really important on a big, heavy e-bike. The XT drivetrain has also performed perfectly well. I've had no problems with it whatsoever. I did have the option of having XTR fitted instead, but I think XT was definitely the right decision, because on an e-bike which eats through drivetrains at the best of times, XTR would have almost certainly been a bit of a waste of money. So how does the bike ride? Nothing seems to be too much for this bike. It has an ability to plow through chunk like nothing else that I have ever ridden, and that includes my old e-bike. Like most e-bikes, braking is critical, and it's really important that you brake early enough so you can initiate the corner properly. This is a heavy bike, it's got big 29-inch wheels, and it picks up speed quickly. If you don't get your braking right, then it will eat you for breakfast and you will not be having a good time. This bike is absolutely perfect for most of the terrain that I ride here in Switzerland. However, if you're going to be mostly riding flow trails, then I think it is probably a little bit too much bike, and you would probably be better served with something a little less beefy and a little bit more trail oriented. $1 million question is, would I buy this bike again? And the answer is definitely yes. I'm having an absolute blast on the bike. It's allowing me to ride further than I ever did before, and it is also more capable than my old e-bike. The only one slight question is, would I fit the range extender option again? Maybe next year I will go on some adventures and I will be able to give it a go and have a much better opinion on whether or not it was a good idea to actually spec this on the bike. There you go. That's what life with the Wild FS has been like for the first 3 months. All in all, very positive. If you've got one of these bikes, I would absolutely love to hear about your experiences. Have you had some of the same issues as me? Have you had other issues? Are you as happy with your bike as I am? Anyway, thanks for coming along. As always, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.